Board meeting for GCC, May the 2nd, 2023 at 4:45 p.m. Roll call. Mr. Mark Anderson.
Here.
Mr. Harry Blanc.
Here.
Mr. Bruce Mandrick, absent from this meeting. Mr. Jack Turner
Present.
and Lily Campbell present. All board members, 4 board members present. So we have a quorum. Thank you very much, board members, for being here tonight. Oh my, it is so good to look out and see so many people. Thank you for being with us tonight. It is a pleasure to see you. Welcome, everyone, and welcome to those of you who are with us virtually. We do appreciate having you here with us at this board meeting. So thank you very much. Do we have public comments?
We have no public comment.
No public comments. Thank you. And now we're moving on into our regular board agenda. Our superintendent's update. I know you have a lot of information to share with us
I
today.
think I may have 2 pages. It's,
Oh, no.
it's just that much.
You can
so.
write it in paper.
Good evening, board president, members of the board, and welcome to everyone that is here with us tonight for our board meeting.
It's just some background.
Well, I thought that probably it was just like going, you know, here's some big news coming. So I want to just kind of kick off by first acknowledging and recognizing that yesterday, May Day, May 1st, was National Principals Day. So to all of our principals, happy Principals Day. We're going to give you a round of applause. And today we celebrate the National the Day of the Teacher, Teachers Day. So to all of our teachers, we want to applaud. In the spirit of celebrations, we will be celebrating all of our certificated staff May 8th through the 12th for Certificated Staff Appreciation Week. Also, May 8th through 12th is National Charter Schools Week. So our team will be working to not only educate our families and our public about what it means to be part of a charter school, but kind of highlighting some of our teachers and the work that they're doing. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. And then May 22nd through 26th, we'll be celebrating our classified staff. So here's what's exciting. This is kind of that season to celebrate as we move towards the end of the school year. I want to just kind of update on a few AXA activities. We before last just wrapped up our legislative action week where we were able to kind of represent Region 3. We met with all of our elected officials that represent obviously our area, our state senators, as well as assembly members. And I want to affirm Director Tarakoff for his work with that, as well as our AXA Region 3 team. Speaking of AXA, we just wrapped up our North State conference. We had about 10 leaders from the GCC who attended the AXA North State conference. And I just want to take a moment and give a couple of shout outs. One to Dr. Peterson and Mr. Elliott, who co-presented on adaptive leadership. So heard that really went well. And then Dr. Peterson, Dr. Gold, and Michael Mendoza from SAVA co-presented on the important work of teacher leadership. So again, want to just affirm our wonderful team of leaders for their work to present and share the good work that's doing. So can we just give them a big round of applause? I just want to update the board a little bit just in terms of our transition work. We continue to finish, I should say, our superintendent spring presentation. We have one more campus that will be the final presentation this upcoming Monday, and that's CCCS. So yeah, excited. Definitely hope that everyone has kind of had a good time with those. I have enjoyed spending time with each of our schools and our staff, as well as taking some time to share a little bit about myself and kind of the vision for the future. For SAVA, please don't tell anybody what you saw or experienced in the presentation. Same with HLA. It's a surprise. So but definitely have enjoyed spending that time. We continue to work with our focus groups. So all the way until I think tomorrow, our we'll be meeting with a group of students here at the central office. Julia Jimenez Yamamoto will be helping me, and we'll be getting our student voice, our student input into what they want to see, what are their dreams for the GCC. So I'm looking forward to spending some time with our students tomorrow and just kind of, we'll have pizza. So if you're in the area, feel free, but really an opportunity to get their voice. We'll continue with some other focus groups with our parents, as well as our community and faith-based partners, our CBAC and our foundation, as we get feedback on both the blueprint and the transition. I want to highlight just a few student spotlights. Last week we had and you'll see on your screen, the SAVA CTE showcase. You'll also see their Ethics Multicultural Fair. And today we had CCCS's Care Fair. Really just a lot of wonderful things that are going on all the way across the GCC. But this meeting, I want to highlight these three. Definitely want to affirm our administrators, our staff for really putting on some great events that are making deep connections with our families. And so you'll see down here, Sava's Care Fair, they have our partners, and I think it was also Meet Your Counselors. I had fun going over there and spinning the wheel to get free candy. Epic, again, welcoming and doing their multicultural festival. And then you'll see Sava CTE, and I want to affirm board member Anderson, who came out and spent a good chunk of this afternoon with us at Sava. So Mr. Anderson, thank you for that. Just some things around charter renewal. We have been hard at work with our admin team as we prepare for the 5 Twin Rivers charter renewals that are coming up. Want to definitely affirm the work of our core team, Dr. Marston, and our Ed Services team of Mr. Coy, Dr. Gold, and Mr. Elliott, and then the unspoken hero who has been behind the scenes a lot, with is Miss Lydia J. Kind of doing a lot of our administrative work, and then obviously our principals for all of their hard work as we pull together. Omira and her team will start working on 5 budgets, 5 cash flows, 5 multi-year projections, and obviously we're trying to, I know she's looking like that. Obviously, board, we're trying to get to the space where when our administrators leave for the summer, their documents are in legal's hands for our attorneys to do their final review and changes. Just some professional learning that I've had the opportunity to participate in. You probably have heard a lot about ChatGPT. So I attended a webinar on AI for superintendents. Weighing the pros and cons. I know. Pretty soon you don't need me. Just have ChatGPT give a report. You got it replaced? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We need a warm body here. Really looking at weighing the pros and cons of tools like ChatGPT, and how do we integrate them not only in education, but from a workforce level, as well as a student engagement level. So really some good learning that I'm looking forward to sharing with some others, and definitely our high school and secondary staff. Also have been busy working with a group of other leaders in the AASA Urban Superintendents Academy to do our capstone project. Our project has been implementing district-wide initiatives. One of the things that we learned very early on in this academy is that as a superintendent, you implement a lot of district-wide or organization-wide initiatives, and how do we do that well? And so we have taken on working with Santa Ana Unified School District around their community schools grant and concept. Santa Ana is a very unique space, and having them figure out how to get ownership across the entire district. Obviously, that learning will come back here to the GCC to figure out how we continue to implement organization-wide initiatives. Some external opportunities. Had an opportunity last week to attend the WASP Commission meeting. And this meeting, I was honored to present on GCC as well as charter schools overall to the other 35 commissioners, just sharing with them what a charter school is. There's been quite a bit of information lately through various TV programs about what charters are. And the WAS Commission wanted to have one of the charter representatives just talk about what do we do, who we are, and it was a great opportunity to not only share the global charter school picture, but to also talk a lot about the work that we're doing here in the GCC. Want to just share with you that last week, Dr. Peterson and I both attended the FICMAC board meeting. And at that time, I was officially named to represent charter schools on the board as her successor. And I look forward to representing the GCC as well as charter schools on this prestigious board. I do want to definitely take the time to affirm Dr. Peterson for her service and hard work to forge a voice on that very critical board with representatives from all of the counties with, it's just really a great honor to be on that board. And I look forward to continuing that work into the future. Comstock Magazine, you'll see board in your packet, an article that was published. And I will tell you, this is the Comstock Magazine Capital Cares Edition. And we were sponsored generously by our friends and our partners at McClellan Park. So definitely want to affirm and give them a shout out for sponsoring us getting our story out. And so this is a article just a little bit about our profile and who we are. I think the carry-in quote that really drives home is that Gateway Community Charters continues to refine, improve, and fulfill its vision of creating quality school choice with an emphasis on serving the needs of vulnerable, underserved, and unserved populations. And again, that's our heart, that's our passion. And so we look forward to continuing. Big day of giving. You've received some emails, but I just want to take an opportunity to let you know that Big Day of Giving is almost here, and we're eager to spread the word about it within our community as well as within all of our schools. This annual fundraising event takes place on May the 4th, and we're aiming to raise funds to support our student center initiatives through the foundation. Early giving started, I believe, April 20th. And even with early giving, we are thrilled to see that many people have already taken advantage. So far, we have raised $1,683.50 through early giving, and we're hoping to reach our goal and push for more. So if you're interested, those of you in the audience, as well as up here, if you're interested in donating, there is, I believe, a QR code on the door, Julia?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a QR code that you can go and click that and give and support our students and make a difference. I love the foundation's kind of catchphrase. If you want to change the world, start here. So definitely happy about our Big Day of Giving and an opportunity to join across this region to raise funds for our students. Few last things. Our community engagement team is earlier this year had applied to the Sacramento Bee's Book of Dreams and received a grant to organize a special event for our newly arrived families in the community. And so the families will have the opportunity to enjoy a day of ice skating in spring. Now, when I looked at the weather this week, I'm not sure if that last week ice skating would have felt great. But on May 12th, we will provide a fun and unique experience for our newly arrived families to have a day of ice skating. So keep an eye out for more details from Aisha Britt, just in case you want to pop by and see those faces and those families. Finally, graduation and promotion season is here.
Yeah.
I can't say it's coming up, it's already on us. And so recently you did receive a list of events from Mr. Marco, so please let her know which events you would like to attend so that she can make sure that she hears that. And with that being said, that is my report. Do you have any questions?
Very thorough. Any discussion, any comments, questions? You've been busy.
Oh, we all have. It's our team, yes.
Yes, so we appreciate everything you're doing. And I will have some comments. He stole some of my comments, but I'm gonna wait until good, because I want to talk about the conference too and the presentation, so I will a little later on. So with that, thank you so much, Mr. Sanford. So we are now ready to move to our study session. And the first one is Community Collaborative Charter School Annual School Report Would you like to raise your hand?
I will. Again, thank you, Madam President. I would like to introduce Mr. John Campbell, who is our Director of Community Collaborative Charter Schools, and he's going to introduce his staff. But again, very excited for the work that John and his team continues to do, not only within the GCC, but across kind of the Sacramento region in both Sacramento and Yolo County. So definitely want to publicly affirm John's work in his leadership. So, Mr. Campbell.
All right. Thank you. All right. That wasn't part of my my plan right there. All right, great. Incoming Superintendent Sample, Board President Campbell, members of the board, thank you for the opportunity for myself and the members of my administrative team to present to you tonight about the great things we've been doing at CCCS so far this year. I want to take a moment and allow the members of our team to introduce themselves, and they'll be participating as part of the presentation with me this evening. So.
I'm Tara Jones, Campus Principal for GCC Virtual Academy.
I'm Michelle Jordan, Campus Principal for CCCS High School.
I'm Angie Praxnayo-Briones. I'm the campus principal at the TK campus.
All right, thank you, team. And we also have quite a few members of CCS staff in the audience. If you're part of CCS, will you stand up and be recognized? Great. And they're always here to support us. So not surprised we have a good turnout tonight. So make sure I'm getting this working. All right, so you see in the table of contents, we're gonna, follow the plan that GCC has given to us as far as how they want us to present our school to you this year. We're going to do it a little bit different in the academic excellence and instructional part, because we want to give each campus principal an opportunity to highlight their program without going all the way until 9 o'clock. So each of them is going to combine some information in that category as soon as I get through with the first part, good things, and then I'll be back to wrap it up at the end. So a lot of the good things going on at CCS this year. You can see them up there. I'm just going to be here to highlight a couple for you. The one that I am most proud of at this point is our 1-year DOS graduation rate. And between the 4-year graduation rate and the recently reported 1-year rate, many members of our team definitely like to affirm the work of Ms. Joy Takoy for helping us really dig deep into that data and find out who, so we can find out why, and so we can try to push that number up even higher. For quite a few years, I've been reporting to the board that we're graduating students at a 1-year rate about 89%. And there really wasn't a lot of data to report. We were calculating internally. And so it's really good to see that the number they gave us is close to the number that we've been reporting for the last couple of years. The other thing I want to talk about in good things isn't one specific item. It's just everything that we have going on up there and the growth that we experienced this year. Initially implementing TK, our growing partnership with the SAC Youth Center. I'd like to affirm our student sports specialist, Christina Roberts, tonight leading that program, and our continued work to grow our CTE programs and affirming the work of our CTE specialist, Ms. Norma Chadwell. So a lot of good things going on at CCCS, and you're going to get a chance to hear more about them through the academic excellence and instructional components, which we're going to be combining. And I'm going to start by asking Ms. Tara Jones to come up, and she's going to lead you through some exploration of what we're doing at the VA campus after I talk about a few more slides. All right, great. So, all right, making sure you guys are paying attention, at least I am. All right. So when it comes to academics and instruction school-wide, we have to start by looking at our CAF test scores. As most of you are aware, we are a DOS or an alternative school, which means that these indicators aren't as reflected in the same way for our school as they are for other local schools. But it doesn't mean that we don't think it's important, right? Because this is still how our students are learning, regardless of how we're held accountable for this data or not. So we do take this heavily. We do want to make sure that we're doing the things that we're supposed to do as a school to improve these scores over time. With that being said, we are proud to report, as I go to the next slide, there have been a lot of positives. We had positive growth in ELA and math from 2019 to 2022. Our socioeconomically disadvantaged students grew. Our English learners grew. So we had some really good, internal wins. We also did very well to similar schools in our area. We met or exceeded the overall achievement and the growth of all similar schools in the area. And that's something that we're very proud of. And we're just continuing to make sure that we are, doing what that says we're doing, which is creating great programs for students. As I mentioned in good things, the last piece of data I want to share is about our 1-year graduation rate that was recently reported. I believe it's been maybe 4 or 5 weeks since this data came out. And so you can see that our overall rate was 89%. Our white demographic is extremely high, 98 point, or I can't read that, sorry, my glasses on, 95.7%, there it is, one eye. And other subgroups were a little bit lower. So again, just like we did with the 4-year graduation rate data that we had at the beginning of the year, we're going to continue to dive deeper into this. We have a couple of meetings scheduled with some stakeholders coming up to make sure we can try to continue to predict and accurately track students throughout the year, not just wait for the data to happen at the end. And some of the work that campus principals are going to share with you is us digging deeper into that. And like I said, now here comes Ms. Tara Jones to talk to you about what's going on at the virtual academy. All right.
All right, good afternoon. I'm so excited to be here with you today to talk about the exciting work that's happening at the Virtual Academy as well as across CCCS. So this year, our staff began participating in GCC coherence work in the program's second year in existence. So we are just now wrapping up our 5th cycle of inquiry of this year around our SIP goal to increase reading comprehension for all students TK through 12. And that has been some exciting work, and we've had some great results. What you see is our semester 1 iReady results, and we saw growth across the board in reading and math. And we're looking forward to seeing what that growth looks like for our entire school year as we wrap up testing for this year. And we also look forward to having CASP data to compare from last year to this year, since this will be our second time taking that test. We look at our teacher and staff supports. We have all of our staff are trained in iReady. We have really dug into data analysis. Our lead elementary teachers have been trained in GLAD. But one of the biggest pieces I think that has had the most effect is that our PLCs or our, lower elementary, upper elementary, high school, our different groups have had weekly collaboration and really dug deep into, what we're doing, what's effective, and where we want to go from here. Moving forward into our special populations, I think it's worth noting that in TK through 12 at Virtual Academy, we are serving over 33% EL students. And so we've done a lot of work to make sure that those students are being supported. We're really excited that we were able to add an EL teacher this semester, Sarah Odell. She's not here tonight, but she's been doing incredible work in helping us just increase those supports that we're able to give those EL students. And we do have some targeted interventions in place, as well as transition services. We have a good number of staff members and looking to add more who are bilingual and really able to help those folks with translation. Some of the programs that we found that have been most effective in supporting our EL students and really all of our students is iReady, IXL, and Reading Eggs. And those have especially been helpful for our EL learners. Looking at student engagement, we are so excited that we have been able to add more field trips and just opportunities for connection this year at Virtual Academy. We've had some family picnic days, student enrichment, and just excited with the growth we've seen with the partnership we have with American River College and that dual enrollment for our high school students. I'd like to give some special thanks to Director Berrigan, Director VVA, and Director Tarabkov for your continuous support of the VA program. And now I'd like to turn it over to CCCS High School Campus Principal, Michelle Jordan.
Thank you, Tara. I too am very excited to be with you all here today and to share about the amazing things happening at CCCS High School. So we'll start with our academic excellence. As you know, we test 3 times a year in iReady, and this is a snapshot from our second assessment. We were very happy to see growth in almost every level. But we know that one of the things our students really struggle with is comprehension. So when we did a deep dive on the data, we decided for this year, we were going to focus on some cycles of inquiry around academic vocabulary. And we've just ended, or we're in the middle of our 3rd cycle of inquiry around academic vocabulary across disciplines, and hoping students make the connections between that academic vocabulary. And so on our 3rd assessment, which just is beginning this month, we hope to see some additional growth. For high school instruction and teacher and staff support, one of the things that we are super excited about this year was to offer additional live classes at every level in all of the core classes. So including expanding our CTE classes, we expanded elective classes. For staff, we implemented collaborative MTSS training. We have also tried to bring in a little bit of fun for staff FCL. So we have team fun now meeting on Mondays. And then prior to our staff meetings, our counselors have put together a Mindful Monday. So really trying to support staff in that way also. For our special populations, as a DOS school, most of our students fall under special population. So that's everyone. So for us, it's really trying to ensure those best practices and interventions across the board. We have implemented Read 180 now for the second year for students who are either 3 years plus behind in reading or targeted for our EL and our RSP populations. We use iReady for our math intervention, but we also had one of our new math teachers curate to find the specific targeted lessons that would help our 9th graders attack integrated math. And we've expanded our SEL and our mentoring classes, especially to give kids those soft skills to be able to center and access their learning. And for high school instruction and engagement. So we really want to get our students active and involved. And whether it be celebrating them through Super Scholar or Student of the Month, through Spirit Awards, but really trying to get them engaged beyond just our campus. So we've brought back field trips, all of our CTE classes and other field trips that we enjoy. We've partnered with the Soroctonists again for Dream It Be It seminar, and then the students went out for some vertical dance classes. We, through our community collaboration and service learning program, have really sought to increase our involvement with community partnerships. And then we have 2 of our sites on campuses with community programs, our Sacramento Youth and our Firehouse. And we are also going to be forming another partnership with Weave. So really bringing in that community engagement. And we would really like to affirm Mr. Elliott and Dr. Marston for helping us get that CalServes civic engagement grant, which we hope we will be hearing from this week, and then be able to increase that by creating a community collaboration pathway next year for students. So with all of that, I would like to now pass it along to Ms. Angie Praxianovon Briones, TK8 principal.
Thank you, Principal Jordan. Oh, got it. All right. You know, Superintendent Sample, it's only fair that you say go Phoenixes.
Go Phoenixes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. So honored to be here tonight. I'm really excited because TK8 has been blazing the way for some of the work that we are doing across the GCC. As you can see on your screen right here, just a couple of highlights of our current iReady scores. Although we have some really amazing positive growth in the green and the yellow, I really want you to zero in on the red because we are in year 2 of our early literacy block grant that allows us to get the funding to support foundational skills for TK through 3rd grade. And you can see the growth that we are making, and that's only year 2. So imagine where we will be in year 3 and then on. In addition to the early literacy block grant supports, we are also utilizing iReady across the board. You see that hearing from high school all the way down to TK. So when we see that consistency across all levels across our schools, we can build the foundations from low going to high. In addition to that, all of our teachers on our campus, as you can see here, and now working with Virtual Academy are or becoming Project GLAD trained. And that helps build that foundation, lead into the tier 1 instruction, as well as really include our ELD learners. With that, along with the instruction, we know that it starts at the core. So those behind me here, the teacher and the staff, they are the ones that are really the driving force for the culture and climate of our campus. So along with being trained, we also have some of our teachers leading the way through PLCs. We are in year 1. Thank you, Dr. Gold, for really helping us support the PBAS, because we know that if we establish strong systems, strong procedures to build that climate, we can get our scholars to where they need to go, which is excellent, thriving, and impacting the world. In addition to that, we are really working hard with Solution Tree and LTL 360 in collaboration to help our school get our scholars to where they need to go. And we are diving deep into our standards. We are going into creating common assessments for the next school year, but really analyzing what is working for our scholars and what is not, and then pivoting to get them to where they need to go. One of the things that we are most proud of, which leads into engagement, is that our scholars are starting to outperform actually the neighborhood schools in our even across the park in our local districts, as you also see in high school. And with the populations that we serve, really the majority of our CCS students are special populations. And so we know that in order to serve that special population, we need to serve all. And so having that designated ELD, really building the foundation with SIPS, which is a program to help our TK through third grade, really starting to build that up, as well as engaging them through reading buddies, individualized learning, and also building instructions like win time to get them to where they need to go. With that support, we also know that engagement is also important, as well as checking in on who they are as human beings. I want to call out in the firm our social worker, Hannah Larson, who has been consistent in establishing referrals, checking in, making sure that our students are getting what they need in the services emotionally, mental health, as well as checking in our teachers to establish equity for all of our students. In addition to that, the hands-on learning, the team building, our amazing coach, Kayla Vermeulen, has been leading the way in coaching our teachers, instruction, standards, how to bring that rigor up, because students are learning when they're at school, but they're thriving when they are engaged. So I also want to thank you, Amira, and the business team, because with your help, with your team's help, we were able to get field lessons. This year was the first year that we took our kids to Sly Park. They were gone for a week. Some of our teachers survived Sly Park, but it's something that they will be talking about for the rest of our lives, as well as enrichment and student celebration, because we all know our core values. We value our people, we value our scholars, and we want to celebrate their growth. Moving on from our engagement to our diversity, equity, and inclusion. Not only, one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about working at CCCS is that we are a reflection of our students. We are a reflection of our community and our students. And we work very hard along with the GCC to bring that diversity, equity, inclusion lens, but most importantly, a sense of belonging, because we want to ensure that all students feel welcomed. Based on our LCAP survey, we just got reports, 85% of our students across CCCS, that includes Virtual Academy, high school, TK8, feel safe at school. And not only just safe physically, but emotionally, mentally. And that's a lot to say for a school. 82% get along and respect other people's differences. And really the third point I want to say is that 74% believe that students from different cultural backgrounds, that they're able to become friends. And that is just masterful in a sense of belonging. And we strongly believe that that work is not able to be done without that MTSS, because that is whole circle. That's not even a circle, it's like a lotus, it's a flower. And the PBI's work, because you are celebrated for the amazing positive things that you do. In addition, we know that it's not just about the feelings, but that restorative justice, how to make sure that you are making it right if you do harm. We make mistakes, but you have to make it right. You also know that there's consequence. So along with tying that with our PBIS work, but also being able to utilize the staff who's able to connect with all our scholars, from being bilingual or multilingual to just even be able to get on the level of the students, because that's how we build that connectiveness. Well, really wrapping up the DEI focus is that, again, I want to bring back is that for all of our scholars, it's universal access for all, because if we can tap into how we can serve all students, we will filter and catch all students for them to be successful. So at CCCS, we do that because we have a very inclusive environment. If you cannot thrive here, we have virtual learning. If you cannot do virtual learning, you come and you sit in the seat at TK8, right? If for whatever reason you are not thriving at a neighborhood school, you come to CCCS main campus, because we are an environment that will help all scholars thrive.
Okay, so parent and community engagement. As Angie pointed out, CCCS really is a reflection of our local community, and we really want to be a part of our local community. We want to form partnerships, not just with our families, but with community action in general, right? So in addition to traditional means of communication, whether it be newsletters, class dojo, we have Parent Square where we're blasting out information. We also have those special times where we invite families onto campus. So we have family events. We have also really started to expand on post-COVID our care fairs, our college and career fairs to invite families. Today, we had an amazing day at CCCS main campus where we had over 24 local community resources who came and provided lots of swag for the students, so they liked that. Got to learn a lot, but we also invited not just our CCCS families, but COA that surround us. So we really tried to reach out and bring in members from the broader GCC family. So with that, with our community partnerships at the Firehouse, SEC Youth Center, our applications for those service learning grants, the new partnership we're building with Weave, we really want to be not just of the community, but for the community. We want to be a part of them and to be giving back. So another big important part of our CCCS engagement.
All right, moving into social emotional learning. Just going to touch on a few key points here. We have full CKH implementation across all CCCS campuses, and hopefully we'll be celebrating CKH Showcase School designation this Friday. We have a large number of staff who are trained in MTSS and initial implementation across campuses as well. School-wide student recognitions. It may look different in our different programs, but students are being recognized on a regular basis. Students and staff are feeling supported with the aid of our counselors and social worker team. And PBIS training and implementation has taken place at the TK8 campus. The thing most near and dear to my heart here is that every student across every CCCS program has multiple trusted adults on their support team, many people that they can reach out to for the support that they need.
All right. Thank you, team. So as we get ready to wrap this up, I'm going to talk about our impact and then what's next. As you can see, before I move on to the slide after this, that in the middle of the coherence visual that I think was adopted from some of Michael Fullen's work, and we made that our own, really emphasized the impact in the middle, where the academics, our social emotional work, our equity work all comes together. Across CCS campuses, we each kind of chose a couple of things. We've got really highlighted that work. It's really a summary of the things that you have seen and heard throughout the presentation. But as much as seeing it or hearing it from us, the staff, we want to give you an opportunity to see it and hear it through the lens of a parents and a couple of our students. On this slide, there's a picture on the left that was a social media post, I believe, from District 2 Council Member Sean Lololi when he attended our music showcase at the Sacramento Youth Center back on February 15th. He made this post, and you're going to hear a little bit from the student on the far left. His name is Michael Thomas, and he's been with CCCS in 5th grade, currently in 10th grade. And then on the second, you're going to see a snip from the CCCS school video that was made for the KA campus last year, and a quick testimonial from a parent and a student. So I want to affirm Miss Melissa for making me look good with technology. Here we go.
They have been very attentive to cultural needs and cultural lessons for the children.
Every day I like coming to school now. The things I love about my teachers are that they're so kind and they're very welcoming. They want you to try your best. They don't want you to fail. They just want you to keep trying.
They have been very attentive.
My name is Michael Thomas, aka Beach, and Mikey, aka Mr. Behind Money. I'm 15 years old. I go to CCCS. I'm a sophomore. I like to make music. I like to make beats, like all types of different music, all types of different forms of it. I like to listen to music. I like to play sports too. Something I learned in the music class is the work ethic it takes to succeed in the music business, in the music industry. Something I say to my future self is keep making music, keep making money. Feel me? Yeah, keep doing the same stuff you've been doing. All that. Yeah. My name is Michael.
Here that's authorized by Twin Rivers is going to be talking about charter renewal. You heard it from Jason. And just really what's next is a continuation of the great things you've heard throughout the presentation. More of our PBIS work, working on implementing the MTSS, growing our CTE programs to make sure that we not only have quality programs, the majority of which are A through G approved, but we're increasing our enrollment across all the programs. So more live classes, year 3 of our ELSB implementation, and just doing the best that we can for the students that deserve it. So I want to affirm our leadership team here for their presentation and affirm you guys for your time. Also, I think you guys know, but you did get a little a gift basket. I guess it's a present that you won for sitting through our entire presentation. And definitely want to affirm Angie for her work putting that together. And if you guys have any questions or anything else you'd like to know at this time, we'd be happy to answer those questions for you.
Okay, we're open for the board. Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, yes. I want to thank you and your staff for your really in-depth and presentation and very, very informative. And again, congratulations on the growth on the virtual academy. It has really touched something in the community. And it's got to tie into the whole presentation. I felt the passion you were talking about teaching and learning and what you're doing and your enthusiasm in supporting the students. So I just want to convey that. And you certainly demonstrated it in the presentation. So congratulations.
Great. I appreciate that affirmation. I would say, as we started to get into charter renewal, it's been, 7 years since we wrote that document because of the extension. And so some of the things that we did is serving the whole child and being that anytime, anywhere, any place. Well, everybody's kind of doing that now. So how do we continue to set ourselves apart? But I think offering that virtual component within our program really is another way we continue to redefine, what we try to offer at CCCS and make sure we're continuing to live that mission and vision.
Okay.
I also want to thank you all. Great presentation, very informative as always. Tara, what is the biggest challenge of running the virtual academy for you? Listening about EL students, that's got to be really challenging in a virtual environment.
Yeah, thank you for your question. I would say, teachers behind me here would say that can be the most challenging aspect, is really not speaking the same language as the students and their families that you're serving, but we're getting by. We are utilizing our staff members who are bilingual as well as online, translation tools and things like that. And you'd be surprised what we can get done.
And want to affirm the support of the business office and executive cabinet for supporting our request for additional bilingual peer educators for our staff next year, which is definitely going to support the continued growth that we have. Hopefully, we can hopefully find some bilingual peer educators.
Okay, you have this more hands-on learning STEAM and STEM. What are you doing? Can you give me some example of what you're doing in that area?
Right now, it kind of happens a different way at a different campus, right? At our high school campuses, that probably exist more in our service learning programs. At the TK8 campus, it's something where it's, there's a lot that's available through our science curriculum, TCI. They offer a really wide range of, kind of in-class kits that even, teachers could use with younger grade levels. And then moving forward, really trying to find ways through, Maury's support to bring in some CTE for our middle school students as a way to kind of, get their CTE mindset going before they get to high school. And it's something that, why are we talking about this and what are we doing, right? So it's finding ways to, I guess, empower teachers to make that happen in their classroom. But it's also, on top of that, a mindset that has come up from staff as we've dug into charter renewal, and we try to explore and identify who we want to be over the next 5+ years. And I think that that's a component that, whether it's on paper or just kind of in practice, that we want to look at to really bring, education to life for students. I think if students come to us and they're struggling, regardless of why or even what grade level, we can't just repeat the same process just because we're a nicer school and the people here are nicer. It's only going to take you so far, right? You really have to create that high academic program. So, right. All right. Jackie, another question too?
Oh, I get it. This is the second presentation we had, our second meeting, when we had the end of the year presentation. And in both times that the groups have, and the spokesperson has really been singing the praises of the business office. So obviously you're doing something right. And as the student says here, I'm sure it has nothing to do with money. I don't know.
Well, I think Amira, much like that kid's mindset, is like, yeah, she can hire him in a
But
few
anyway,
years. Right? So,
business office, keep it up. I expect to hear that on the next presentation also.
yeah, I didn't get an affirmation, but I definitely, in addition to Amira, really would like to affirm Valerie Rogers and her team for her work and our LCAP development this year. It's been a much less painful process so far, at least from my seat. And so I feel like just, the way that we've addressed that entire process this year has been excellent, and really, from my seat on the bus, very supportive.
Okay, Mr. Blanc.
Yeah, I like to say I got firsthand with a lot of the stuff because my wife has to go shopping for the food that they buy for the cooking class.
Okay.
I cook in my house, and so
All right.
I have to eat the food, so I.
All right. So,
Good part of that, so
Yeah.
that's great. And then I go by the firehouse and I see the coffee shop and everything. I just came by and I saw the coffee shop. I thought, oh, the firehouse is open.
yep, they're open on Thursdays now. I was out there last Thursday too. I felt bad. I'd gone to Starbucks on my way there, and I was like, I would have stopped here. I would have known. I didn't tell poor Maisha that. I was like trying to hide it behind my back as I was walking past them. So yeah.
So
All
I
right.
see a lot of great things that's going on there, so,
Yeah, I've heard you've been an occasional presence in the online culinary class, right?
I get up
So
early in the morning, take one of my granddaughters out, she's going on a field trip.
Yep.
So,
all right. Yeah, no, I heard Angie talking about how we did Sly Park for the first time on our campus this year. I think Jason mentioned that one of his kids is at Sly Park this week. Is that right? So all right.
We're going to Sac State tomorrow, and then.
You going to Sac State tomorrow?
And then next week is Exploratorium.
Nice. Great, great.
Can I ask one more question? Sorry.
Yeah. Lily says yes, so go right ahead, Mark. All right, great.
Parent engagement, and you did speak to that. Do you get a lot of parents involved in the campus? I'm probably not as many as you'd like.
Well, I'll answer. So, I would say for Virtual Academy, I really want to affirm Tara and her team that they've done a lot to tell parents, especially for the younger grades, like you need that family member at home that is supporting you. We can't just ask our third grader to kind of jump on Zoom and hope that they figure it out. Like it's not distance learning anymore. We can do better, right? So I think that, in that each campus has their own process for doing that. I would say just overall that we do a good job of bringing resources into the school, but we need to do a better job of connecting our parents, families, the community to those resources. And then we've talked about with our counselor team, and then we're going to try to work on, next year. Again, we had a great care fair today, but, there's definitely many parents I would hope that would be able to come out for that event. We're trying to continue to find new and creative ways.
And Director Campbell, I also want to add that we did our first live scan event at TK8, and we have, I think, over 15 signed up. They're starting with chaperoning, but we have to clear them to make sure that they can come to our campus safely. So we're going to be implementing that into our back to school night next year too.
Well, is it my turn? All right, thank
I
you.
didn't see your hand. I would have called him.
No, I have to give to the board first.
Okay.
I want to give accolades to all of you for the work that you're doing. You mentioned 5 years ago, and I was thinking 5 years ago when I visited and when we first opened up CCS at Scavala, and the difference that it has made and the changes that have taken place. And I also heard you say, we're looking at the next 5 years when we get ready to present. I really appreciate all of the work that you've done over the years and the many programs that are now in place. I had a chance to visit at the conference, the iReady vendors. And I was happy to know that we had approved iReady for the district, for our organization. I had a chance to talk with them about the program, so obviously it works. Am I correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
I would say that, I ready more than just the, beginning, mid, end of year assessment data that you saw that we were able to look into, but some of the, some tutorial support programs. There's kind of multiple different options that students can and teachers can use to engage students using iReady.
So I really want to thank you for looking at programs that really work. And there was just one thing you talked about SIPS, SIPPS. Tell me what it is.
So what we do is with the TK through third, we test every single student with their phonemic awareness, their letter recognition, letter names and sounds, and we baseline all of our scholars in TK through third. We found that instead of just intervening on students who need certain letters, we are doing that whole class curriculum to build it all foundation. And then from there, when we assess every 4 to 6 weeks, depending, then we group them and we start moving kids to levels of what they need. And that's what's really going to help that foundation skill. So SIPS originally was intended to be an intervention program, but we found that TK through third, they're still learning how to read. And so if we establish that head on from the beginning as a whole class curriculum, we are noticing that our first wave of students last year who were in kinder and now are in first, we noticed that the learning gaps were a lot smaller. So they're getting that intervention. And so when we had new scholars who come to CCS who might have the learning gaps, we're able, because it's a whole class instruction, they're picking it up a lot faster than if we try 2 to 3 years later to try to intervene.
President Campbell, it stands for Systematic Instruction for Phonemic Awareness, Phonemic and Phonological Awareness.
Thank you, Dr. Gold.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, hopefully next year, now that COVID's gone, we'll be able to visit more of the programs and see them. I feel kind of lost because I haven't had a chance to visit the schools and see the programs. So I'm looking forward to that.
On Thursday, open house.
Open house. Yeah, I was looking at my schedule. Open house, that's tomorrow.
Yeah, Thursday, May the 4th.
Okay, 5 o'clock. Yeah, all right. I've got it right here. Okay, thank you. Oh, the swag bags. Now, I love everything with my name on it. Oh, wow.
That's me.
That's, you got that. Thank you.
Did you see there's a shirt, a personalized shirt, and then there's a personalized tumbler. And I also want to thank Principal Jones, who also got the swag bags together with all the amazing things.
Thank you so much. I love swag.
All right, just a token of our appreciation for your support and on behalf of our school. So thank you guys very much.
I wish we could do more.
All right.
Thank you so much. Again, you want to recognize, just for me, this is what I usually do, so you did it before. Again, will all of the staff, teachers, and everyone stand so we can applaud you again. Please stand. Thank you. And the superintendent-elect is saying, I haven't given him a chance.
Oh,
So I guess I better.
No, you're good. Just definitely, again, want to affirm Director Campbell, the entire CCCS team. You definitely see their heart, their passion, and this is the work that's happening every day on their campus.
Yeah.
Super proud of them and just looking forward to what they're going to do next for our students. So thank you so much. Great work. Go Phoenixes.
And if you need to leave, we give you permission to do so because we know that you have to get ready for tomorrow. But we really appreciate you taking the time to be here with us. Thank you so much. And the best of luck to all of you as we finish off this May month, all of the other activities. So stay strong.
Thank you.
All right, board members. We are down, we have another study session, summer school and programs update. And I think that's you, Ms. Joy.
Yes, so board, We're happy tonight just to kind of update you on our plans for summer school as we continue to support our students and their learning during this time, our expanded learning time. And so I'd like to bring Director Takoya, our Director of Academics, who will lead us in this presentation.
And we have some information in our findings too.
You do.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's a couple slides. So good afternoon, Mrs. Campbell, board members, Superintendent Sample, and cabinet members. Today, I'd like to share with you an update regarding our plans for summer school in the GCC. We have always offered summer learning options for students, even during the pandemic, with the goal to prevent what is commonly known as the summer slide. Our students, though, are not just dealing with the regular summer slide, but it has been compounded by the learning loss experience during the pandemic. Essentially, the achievement gap has widened. And these summer programs are even more critical and necessary to bridge gaps in learning and support student well-being. Summer programs have proven to reverse learning loss and give students a second chance to master material from during the school year. And based upon what Superintendent Sample said earlier, our summer programs align very much with the GCC goals to refine, revise, and update our programs to excellence to better serve our students. So I'll start with today with the independent studies and the high school programs. This chart explains the detailed plan for each school. CCCS will offer in-person meetings with students at 3 different campuses on Monday through Thursdays, with SAC Youth Center offering classes for most of the summer. The TK through 8 campus will offer full day in-person support and serve breakfast and lunch. The virtual academy will offer all online instruction, and in total, CCCS expects to serve up to 335 students this summer. SAVA will offer weekly independent study appointments at 4 different sites in June and expects to serve up to 400 students. And these students will have lunch options available to them. And Futures High School will serve all students in person and provide breakfast and lunch through the Twin Rivers Food Service Program. The academic focus for high schools is credit recovery. And for TK through 8, their focus will be on academic interventions, whether online or in person. SAVA will also offer 1 career pathway for fitness and support 20 summer internships, mostly within the construction field. The summer programs for our TK through 8 seat-based schools includes extended days because of the new Expanded Learning Opportunities Program, or ELOP, as we fondly know it. These 4 sites all offer at least a 9-hour day, with EPIC offering a 10-hour day. Students are not required to stay the entire time, and they can leave either after the morning session or any time during the afternoon. The goal is to be flexible and meet the needs of families. COA is offering summer school for 300 students across both the elementary and middle school, but located only at the elementary campus. They will provide academic instruction in the morning and then partner with Quinta in the afternoon to provide supervision and enrichment activities. EPIC is partnering with the YMCA, who will provide full program operation at the EPIC site. Last year, EPIC students had to attend at another school campus. They will operate for 38 days total with only the July 4th week off, and they expect to serve 200 students. GIS is providing a 9-hour program on their site with their staff and partnering with 2 parks and rec districts to provide a parallel 9-hour program offsite, and they expect to serve up to 230 students. HLA is partnering with AdventureMo or EdMo to provide a full program at the RDP campus for 200 students. Breakfast and lunch at all of these sites are also provided by Twin Rivers, but the afternoon snacks are provided by the sites. These 4 sites have a focus on academic intervention, enrichment, and STEM activities. Enrichment will include field trips, art, music, crafts, and sports. And because these 4 sites, COA, EPIC, GIS, and HLA, already receive ACES funding, they are eligible for the ESSER Summer Funding Grant, which we have applied for. That would be $60,000 for EPIC, GIS, and HLA, and $100,000 for COA. If we receive that, then these programs will be required to track attendance and submit reports. With money comes responsibility. We are also considering ways to leverage our current programs, such as iReady, to measure students' academic growth over the summer, and ensuring that we have support staff in place at the GCC level for these sites. This would include facilities support, student services, special education, and student health and welfare. We want to ensure that our summer programs support the whole child, just as during our regular school days. At the last board meeting, you approved the summer programs coordinator job description that will support sites with this extended day program, attendance monitoring, academic interventions, and be a liaison between the schools, GCC, and our increasing vendors. This position is contingent upon receiving that grant money, but will support the sites with the additional requirements of the ELOP and the ESSER grant. I would like to thank the site administrators, the administrative teams, for being forward-thinking and strategically planning for strong summer school programs that meet all the needs of their students. They are doing this while dealing with current daily challenges, planning even farther ahead for next school year, and planning for the next 5 years for some of them with their charter renewal. We have some awesome administrators who go above and beyond to support their students and families. To conclude, GCC expects to serve over 1,700 students at 13 sites during the summer. And we know that keeping kids in school is not just about academic learning, it's also about giving them a safe place to be during the summer where they can find fun, friendship, and food. And we appreciate your support in this endeavor. Do you have any questions?
This is good information. It really helps us to see what will be happening in June in summer program. Board members, any questions, comments?
Just one question, Joe. Do we have a way of evaluating how effective our summer programs are? I understand under ESSER and, we have to report out, but do we have a way of just measuring the effectiveness or even asking for input from students and parents and,
I'm not aware of any formal surveys that have been done specifically during the summer for students, but I know some sites have used the iReady personalized learning during the instruction during the summer to measure that. But we've also used some tutoring programs during the summer at some sites, but it hasn't been consistent across sites. And so what we're wanting to do is try to support each site, considering what they're offering, how we might measure some support for this summer. So
yeah, I mean, it's a significant amount of students that we anticipate doing.
yes.
It's a lot of resources, both human resources and dollars, and it'd be nice to know how effective it was.
Right, and iReady does have some smaller assessments within the program that is not a complete diagnostic. It's called Standards Mastery. Sometimes where we struggle during summer school is that those incoming students that we offer summer school to don't have an iReady account. All right, so there's some struggles during that time, but
like it gives them food, it gives them a safe place to be, and gives the parents some support and assistance. So, now, when do you know whether you get the grant?
we hope within a few weeks, but we expect that, we assume they didn't get enough applicants because they sent out another call for applications, which meant it's going to delay our notification.
And then Mr. Anderson, just to kind of also add a little bit, I think some other things that we can do, and I'll speak with Director Turcoy, is we can look at some ways of some satisfaction surveys or something very similar to our climate and culture, how was this an impact? And I think that will give you some really hard data on these 1,700 kids in terms of was this effective, did it meet the family's needs?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It really gave us some information on what to look for with summer school. Appreciate it.
And so, Madam President, part of this study session was also just to give the board information. As we'll begin to see the summer school contracts come through, we want to have you with some information and context to understand what our plan is, what our impact is, as you'll see these contracts over the next.
Any other comments or questions, board members? Hearing none, seeing none, we now move to the consent agenda items. And I will go over them just for the for our audience so they can hear what it is that we have on the consent agenda items. Adoption of the GCC board meeting minutes of 3/21/23. Adoption of the GCC board meeting minutes of 4/18/23. Personnel consent agenda items, purchases over 30,000, and professional learning coach job description. And I think this is the last one, the chief communication and strategy officer's revised job description. These are items on the consent agenda. And yes, Mr. Turner?
I move approval.
Move approval. Second. All right, we have a approval in a second. Any discussion on any of the items that we have listed here? Any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none? Roll call. Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Block?
Yes.
Harry Block, Bruce Mandrick, absent. Jack Turner?
Yes.
Lily Campbell, yes. So the consent agenda items have been approved by all board members present. Thank you. And now we are down to board comments. Any comments on the board? Any more comments? None? They're not? Well, I do again, Mr. Sample took some of my comments, but I also had the opportunity to attend the AXA regional conferences, the 1, 2, 3, 4 conference from all those northern area regions. And it was indeed, please make this note, to have been a part of GCC's people in attendance. And I did attend each of the sessions that Mr. Sample has already mentioned. And I thank all of you for your participation. And I want you to know they had quite attendance at each of the sessions from Mr. Elliott and Miss Dr. Heather. It was really very well attended and very informative. So thank all of you who participated. I don't see anyone else here but the two, and Dr. Peterson, who led the discussion. So it was really great. And I had a chance, I told you, to visit the I-Ready vendor. But when I got there, they put me to work in my old job that I was supposed to start. So I worked the membership table for both days and didn't know I was going to be working, but it was fun. It was really great to be there and to see so many of our people there in attendance. And I thank you all for bringing GCC to the focus, to the front, and letting people know what charter schools really is about and how we're doing. So thank you again. All right. So with that, no other comments? Mr. Sample?
No other comments, Madam President, other than just to remind the board to look at those graduation and promotions so that we can communicate that information to our site.
Yes, and make sure you finish your list and turn it in to Ms. Melissa so that will be able to know who's going, which ones you're attending. Is there anything we need to know about the graduations or anything that we should know?
Nothing at this time. I just think our sites are excited to get to this part of the year as we celebrate our students. I think that's what it's really about, is celebrating their accomplishment.
And board members, we're going to be busy in May. May and June, part of June. So with that, our next board meeting is Tuesday,
May 16th.
May 16th at 12:45 again. So with that, no other comments. I will entertain a motion for adjournment. I did it right this time.
Second.
Oh, it's been moved in second. All in favor? Aye. So the motion carries. Again, thank you all so much for